Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin 2. Last episode, we entered Glutton's Kitchen, and went through the first two floors of the dungeon, encountering the new enemies, bread bugs. There is a golden candy pop bud on this floor in case you, for some reason, didn't bring yellows into a dungeon that was guarded by an electric fence and was just chock full of electric hazards. This is also the only place in the game where you can find it. In addition, this puffy blowhog here, very odd placement, because besides for this dungeon in the game, it only appears in the last few, dungeons, really, besides the one that randomly shows up on this floor. Anyway, that puffy blowhog, all I can do is just knock your Pikmin around, so, you know the drill. In fact, you've never seen these electric nodes before. They work a lot like fire geysers in that you can shut them off, but they will damage captains who run into them while they're on. So just keep that in mind. In addition, because electricity is insta-death, it's usually a better idea to fight these things with yellows, because if you screw up fighting an electric trap, you are royally screwed, because all your Pikmin will instantly die, and you probably had them all swarming around it at the time. It's happened to me before, don't be an idiot. So the idea here is really quite simple. Because we have, like, a full part of yellows, it's as simple as just running through the level and grabbing the treasures before the bread bugs get to them. Simple. Now we don't have to deal with any of that bullcrap knocking them on the tops of their heads, so I don't have to bring enemy bodies back to the ship, because, to be perfectly honest, that just really annoys me. And we don't even have to fight the anode beetles, because their electricity is not dangerous to yellows, obviously. And what's up with me constantly getting Mittites whenever I just want to get some nectar? Like, I know Mittites are a good source of nectar, but that's usually when you have purples. Like, this is just not working out well for me. For once, let's comment on the treasure, why don't we? It's a compass. Director of Destiny. I actually think that's a pretty awesome name. Kind of because it reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. How Jack had that compass that would point to, like, whatever his heart desired. Or something to that extent. I don't exactly remember the details. So normally this floor actually is just kind of annoying, but we went through it really quickly. See, this is how the Glutton's Kitchen is kind of trollish. This floor was pathetic, really easy. Now the next one is going to throw a major curveball at us, and have an enemy show up that should rightfully not show up until the late dungeons of the game. Much like the puffy blowhog, the difference being this enemy is actually deadly. First off, we got dwarf bull bears. You might notice that they're kind of flipping out a little bit. Look at that one over there. Maybe it's just me, but when they get a little bit jittery, that means there is something very bad on the floor. In fact, one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, in my opinion, that has more HP than a boss. You can see it in the distance, in the shadows. That is a spotty bull bear. They were in the first Pikmin game, true, but they are actually even worse in this game, because now, guess what? They never sleep. So if you're gonna fight it, don't be a man. Use a bitter spray. Use a bitter spray, all the purples you got, because not only does a bull bear follow you anywhere, dwarf bull bears trail behind it like freaking Pikmin. So it's got an RE of its own to command, so I would recommend going after it with 2 bitter sprays. That's right, don't shirk on the bull bear. And of course, purples. But because we have neither of those, this battle's gonna give us hell. Because honestly, this thing has more HP than a boss, than a few of the bosses in the game, actually. And is therefore more dangerous than quite a few of them. In fact, it is more dangerous than the boss of this dungeon, if you can believe that. Look at this thing! It's relentless. When it sees you, it doesn't freaking give up. It walks over walls. It's the Terminator of bull bears. The best you can hope to do is, because the small ones can't walk over walls, get them to run into walls, because trust me, getting him separated from his little minions actually is a great idea. Now, hopefully, we can get him stuck behind a large enough object that we can throw Pikmin on top of him, because it's the only way that I can think we're going to be able to even fight him without dying. Okay, this thing right over here, that object looks big enough that maybe if we time this right, yeah, we can get him to get stuck and we'll throw Pikmin on top of him. Holy crap, he jumped over the house, okay. It ends here, Boil Bear. We're going after you. I don't care how many Pikmin die, as long as you die too. Down, down. Look how much HP this thing has. It's just eating Pikmin left and right. Have mercy. Oh my god. How many Pikmin did it kill? 10? 9? It killed more than the last boss of the previous dungeon did. That is a ridiculous enemy. And guess what? The fun doesn't end there, folks. Because guess what? Take a good look at that friggin' bull bear. Its HP is coming back. After you defeat it, its HP slowly starts to regenerate. So unless you haul that thing's ass back to your ship, it's gonna come back to life. And then it's gonna get back all its life and chase you down and unleash a world of hurt, and it will keep doing that until you somehow manage to dispose of the body. Of course, that's one of the reasons I would recommend using bitter spray, not only because it is an aggravatingly difficult enemy, but because when you bitter spray it and defeat it in bitter spray form, you break it, so it can't reform, obviously. If it could, I don't even know what I could say. Whoa. Yeah. That was the bull bear, and good news is, I get to show you something awesome. Look, the bread bug took the bull bear, so he's actually gonna eat it for us. So Pikmin, don't be fools, because the way they're standing, they're gonna try and steal the bull bear away and probably die in the process. Bye-bye, bull bear. Sweet death. Oh god. I hate those things. And I don't like dwarf bull bears either. Really, I hate them in this game. There are not many enemies that I outright hate. Oh, I think that one is just too difficult. You have to be cheap to beat it, otherwise you suffer those kinds of losses. And trust me, like, I'm not bragging. I'm a good Pikmin 2 player. Like, I was fighting it with all I had. That's how bad those things are. They are dangerous enemies. Do not underestimate the spotty bull bear. And that is one of the, basically the only reason that the Glutton's Kitchen is possibly more dangerous than the next couple dungeons we're going to do. That enemy. I hate it. Also, this floor right here. Even on normal runs of the game, where I've successfully been able to defeat the bull bear and get on with my happy life, this floor has managed to give me Pikmin extinctions. So it's floors 4 and 5 of the Glutton's Kitchen. You really want to watch your back on. That's why I say this dungeon is very trollish. Overall, perhaps if you're playing this game for the first time, this dungeon won't give you as much trouble as the next one we're going to do, or even the next couple. But as an experienced player going back to it, there's stuff about this dungeon that just pisses me off. You got the bread. Oh no! No! Okay, thank you. I didn't know flowers were stronger than rocks. Thank you, Nintendo. Your logic actually saved us for once, instead of destroying us. So this enemy here that's been shooting these rocks out, yes, that is an armored cannon beetle. More accurately, an armored cannon beetle larva, as it does not have armor. That does not mean it's a pushover, because in its current state, you might notice that we can't just walk up to it and attack it. That's right, you have to throw Pikmin over to it. And believe it or not, because I know how much HP enemies have in the game, and I can give you numerical amounts if you ask, if you want to know how much HP enemies have exactly in the game, just ask, and I can give you a numerical value. I have them listed on my computer, actually. Believe it or not, armored cannon beetle larvae are not always stationed in turrets like that. When they are, their defense, basically their HP, increases incredibly. So we are not going to want to even try fighting it, otherwise I have a feeling we're going to lose more than if we try to just sneak by it. So the key with those things, for now, because later on we are going to encounter them when they're not in turret form, and then they're just pushovers. You can swarm them and beat them really quickly. All you want to do is just stay out of their way. Stay out of their way and you'll be fine. And make your Pikmin stay out of the way too. And of course, normally this would be a complete bloodbath if you just ran through here normally, just fighting the bull bears as you went. This would possibly put you in incredibly dire straits. So what you gotta have is have these armored cannon beetle larvae shoot their boulders to take out the dwarf bull bears for you. Of course, the corpses will also block their boulders, so you gotta lure those dwarf bull bears wherever you want them to be hit. And because the rocks do so much damage, they take them out in one shot. Also, it's difficult to tell exactly where those things will emerge from, because they come out of the randomly generated turrets. There are 3 of them on this floor, I know that for a fact. And after we wipe out these last couple ones with the boulder, we're going to run through with Pikmin and get the treasures, and then hopefully we'll be able to distract the armored cannon beetle larva as we bring the treasures back. Now, are these things as bad as armored cannon beetle for the first game? No. The armored cannon beetle is actually, although it didn't look like it in my Let's Play because I actually did incredibly fantastic against it in both of those fights, it's one of the most dangerous enemies in its game. Not so in this game. However, because the cripples are slow, they could get hit by rocks, so that kind of makes me worry. Anyway, the 2 treasures are over here. They're actually both quite large. And good, looks like we got some nectar. So we definitely want our Pikmin to be flowered, otherwise they might succumb to those rocks later on. No, not the rock hawk. That didn't even make sense as a reference, but I felt like saying it because Thousand Year Door is awesome and I'm playing it alongside this, if you can actually believe it. No, not a Let's Play. This is the first time I'm playing it. And one day I might do a blind Let's Play, which is basically a Let's Play of a game that you've never done before. I'm going to do that for Pikmin 3 when it comes out. That's right, I really want to do a Pikmin 3 Let's Play. That would be so sweet, wouldn't you admit? I really want to do it, like, as soon as it comes out. Then, like, all the reactions and stuff would be, like, first time ever. Everything would be such a surprise. Of course, we'd have to hope it would be a good game. Oh, no! Oh, no. We were doing so well. Well, it could have gone worse. At least it's not like stupid Pikmin 1 logic, where if, like, a rock rolled over whatever you were carrying, like, everything around it immediately died as well. Or if your Wallywog jumped in the middle of the ship part, all the Pikmin carrying it from the sides immediately died. Whoa! How's it killing Pikmin even now? This is ridiculous! There's one from behind, there's one over there, and now the third one is going after us. We need to get out of this floor fast. Okay, there's a Queen Candy Pop button on this floor if you want to get more Pikmin back, but as for me, I'm going right to the boss, because I've had it in this dungeon. See you next episode.